All right, how are you doing, guys? My name is Ben,
This is Andrew.
and today we are doing episode 2 of Doctor Stone season 1. This one's called King of the Stone World. Go
Oh
ahead
yeah.
and do the thing.
All right. So last episode we got to meet a couple people. We got to meet Taiju, Mr. Screaming Loud, as I called him, because he just was so enthusiastic about everything that came out of his mouth. And then so we see
He
him
really
like
was.
running around yelling, and then he pretty much professes his, or he said he's gonna profess his love for a girl. But I don't know how to pronounce. How do you pronounce her name again?
Yuzuriha.
Yuzu.
You can just say Yuzu if you want, but
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Yuzuriha.
Yuzu. Yuzu, I'm gonna say Yuzu because yeah, your boy not good with that. So Yuzu, he said he goes there, goes in the classroom, tells the other guy we met, Senku, was like, "Yeah, I'm going to tell her I love her," and he's like, kind of like, "Yeah, okay, I got this love potion here for you. This should help you." And he's like, find out it's gasoline in a bottle. But yeah, no, so we see that he runs out to the girl, meeting her out in the courtyard, and is gonna profess his love. Next thing you know, a green light hits the sky, and he's like, he blocks the stuff from her, but doesn't do anything because they all from his
He tried, all right? He tried,
tried.
okay?
Yeah, and then whatchamacallit, everyone turns to stone. We find out that it was 3,700 years later when he finally broke out of the stone. He starts walking around butt naked, make sure he got his little man skirt on though, you know what I'm saying, covering his stuff. And then he comes across the Uzo, how you say it? Was it? Yeah, that shit.
Yuzu.
Yuzu.
So, yeah, Yuzuriha.
So you and Zoo. Okay, I got it. That's easy.
Yeah,
Yuzu. So yeah, he walks across. So he comes across Yuzu. He tells her how he feels. Hoping that she can hear. And then he sees a little writing next to the side, and it says, follow the water, you big oof or you oof or something. And he follows.
Close enough.
Yeah, something. So he follows it. He meets Senku. Senku's like, Senku, you're still alive. And he's like, yeah, you big dweeb, get off me, my guy.
It's like, don't hug me while you're naked, bro.
Yeah, while you're naked, bro. So they pretty much, we see them working together. He pretty much says, I'm obviously the brains, you're the brawn, you're the muscle. We're going to try to figure out how to get everybody out the stone crap, my guy. And pretty much the whole episode is them, testing and, I'm saying trial and error with, a bunch of stuff. And then they finally come across what actually ended up working, at least from what we think, because it released a bird from the stone. So we could only think that it would work on people. So yeah, there you go.
And there was also the Tarzan type character that they mentioned.
Yeah, so it's the only other character that we got to meet.
They did say his name, but it'll come up soon enough. So
yeah, they said I was like, he literally looks like Tarzan. So
all right,
let's get
so
it.
we're going to move on to it. Go ahead and click the link in the description below for the reaction.
Bing bada boom. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what'd you think?
It was pretty nice. It was pretty cool seeing the primate dude, man. The strongest primate.
Tsukasa. That's his name.
Tsukasa.
So we get introduced to his different ideals. So, like, if you looked at Senku, he's just trying to revamp all of society. Right, he's taking this as a challenge, right? He's like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to, not only am I going to bring society back, but we're going to pass it. We're going to go and I'm going to see how fast I can propel us into the future, because I'm taking, like, it's my world now. So then you have Tsukasa, who also has a very valid point. Like, that's why I like this show, because they're two completely different points that both make sense. Like, kind of. I mean, there's logic. There's logic. I'm not saying I agree with either one, but
yeah, Tsukasa, you can take Tsukasa's idea and implement it into Senku's idea.
Yes,
like he could be like, instead of him saying let's kill the adults, or not necessarily kill, but like not revive, even though he looked like he was gonna start killing them. Let's he could just instead of that, he can just revamp society with everyone like that instead of because what it sounded like to me is that he was pretty much saying that he doesn't want a government, like because they're gonna come back and be money hungry, have the government laws where it's like taxes, this, that, third, you know.
He was saying that he doesn't want established people like
Yeah.
adults because they've
Yeah.
lived in the world. So he said that their heart was tainted.
Yeah.
So he didn't want them to exist here because this is a paradise where young people can live and they can reform society.
Yeah.
So that's what he was saying. And yeah, you can take Sukasa's and implement it into Senku's.
Yeah.
But
So
Senku doesn't like Tsukasa would have a stopping point
yeah.
of resurrection.
Yeah.
Or possibly he would, as you said, he was already killing adults.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he would make it so that you couldn't even progress past that point. It's not just a stopping point, but he makes it so you can't go past that point.
Yeah.
While Senku wants to bring everyone back. He said it doesn't matter who we bring back, right? Everyone has their own different values they can bring to the table,
Yeah.
if you bring back, if you think of like an older person, say you brought like a grandfather or a grandmother, then they would have a lot of wisdom with them, right? That they could help you with. They may not be physically strong, but you have people like Taiju who are physically capable to do a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So he said Sukasa's not necessarily wrong, but it's a great ideal that counters Senku's, which I just love.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me see. So pretty early on, right? They you could say that they master the the thing. So they were going to res Yuzu, but instead they got chased away by lions because when everything went downhill, lions just got to feast.
Yep.
Right. So they became pretty much like regular animals in the area, even though Japan isn't necessarily a very lion heavy area. But because there was no defense, there were all sorts of animals, like domestic animals like cats, dogs, all sorts of stuff. So they probably had a feast.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
went crazy.
So here we get to see a little piece of Taiju. He's pretty much like a wall. Like he doesn't like fight. He said, "You never hit anyone ever since you were little." Be careful not to play too much audio on the YouTube.
Yep.
So the strongest primate high schooler. So my man's in high school. Right?
Yeah.
Tsukasa. Right. My man's body's a lion, bro. So this thing breaks. He's like, "What's going on? Give me the thing." Yeah. And then Senku's like, "Yeah, this is the thing." And he breaks out and just throws his rocks everywhere and even hits Taiju in the back.
Yeah.
He just gets blitzed by it. But he wasn't mad about it. So he one-shots his lion. He ends up saying, like, "I'll do all the fighting, right? I'll take care of the food. I'll take care of the fighting. You ain't got to worry about that. Like those are my skill sets. We're good." So he's like,
too. He went right for the alpha male. He went right for the alpha male in the lion pack.
Yeah. So I think it was the male that went after him.
Oh, was it?
He just countered. I don't know.
Either way, he was smart because you could have if he took out one of the lionesses, like the female lion. Yeah. It probably wouldn't have meant much to the lions. They would have just kept fighting. While you take out the alpha male, they're kind of like, "Whoa, wait a sec, chill out, my guy."
Yeah. Technically, he could have potentially, had he been accepted as a lion, he could have become the alpha. So
I was going to say,
technically, he could have.
True.
But it's very hard for you to become accepted as a lion.
Hey, yo, Jungle Book status? What do you mean, bro?
So he sees this, right? Laboratory, right? And he has this look on his face, and he's just like, okay, you know. And right from the very start, right? It's like, okay, you can call me like Tsukasa. He's like, I'm the same one who's in charge of science, you know. So he takes care of the food. He catches a bird out of mid-air, my dude.
Yeah,
like,
that was
what?
insane.
So look at the perfect fish or perfect birds covering, you know?
Yeah.
So, pretty much I didn't even know this about fish, right? Because I've seen the first season, but I haven't like seen like every single detail. Now I'm paying a lot of attention to it. I just kind of watched it the first time through. So I didn't even know that you're not actually cooking the fish, you're just steaming the like germs off of it. So that's pretty interesting. If I ever catch a fish and I'm going to cook it, there you go. So let me see here. My man breaks a person out. It was a young girl that was underneath the rock. So he broke him out. So the question, look at these faces. They do this all the time.
Yeah, I love the faces.
But the question that Senku asked was like, what is the most important thing we need? Right?
Yeah.
And it was a multi-part thing. It was, I forget exactly what it was. It was so he said smartphones. Smartphones are the most important thing. Yeah. And then Tsukasa said steel, right? Steel, you know, would create very strong swords. So you can create all sorts of buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he just said that's closer, but you're a little too far away. Yeah. So then he gets the lime, which is on the the lime that you put on the or chalk for like the sports and all that. So
yeah.
And that is used for, he said 4, right? He said there's 4 uses, but he later changed it to 3. So the first is agriculture, right? Which I didn't even know. I was like, okay, you know. So it upgrades the soil. They can make cement, so they upgrade their little wooden house to a nice sturdy structure. Yep. Third is soap, because they need to make sure they can stay, you know, safe from like viruses and stuff, right? Yep. Wouldn't want to catch COVID. So 6 feet apart, my guy. No, yeah, get some of that seaweed and just wrap it around your face. Oh, there you go. But no. So they so soap, pretty much the frontline deterrent of, you know, bacteria, whatever. Yeah. So it's not like a cure everything, but it's something. So
yeah.
Because he said right here, getting sick means game over in this world, because there's no doctors or anything. So like a common cold could just wipe the floor with, and like all 3 of them, technically. So he's like, "Oh, you're an amazing man," and Senku's just not having it. Senku's just not a man who praises a man to his face is full of ulterior motives, right? It's kind of crazy how he says that. He's like, oh, I didn't mean anything by it, my guy. But now that we know his intention a little bit farther down the line, this means something a little different, because you know he is thinking very deeply about it.
Yeah.
So, and then he's like, oh, what's the 4th use? He says 3. And then you said he didn't want to say it in front of Tsukasa. Yeah. So you think Tsukasa caught it or no?
I think COVID. I think he caught it. No, maybe not, but I think he did, because of the way he's acting right here. In this scene, Tsukasa's got this like pissed off look. And I don't know if that's because he caught on to the 4th reason, but I think it's because he got called out in his emotions. And it wasn't even that he was showing emotion; it was just that Senku's smart and he knows how to read people.
Oh, Senku's smart, all right. So
yeah, and Senku was like, you know, people who usually act like that, you know, usually have other intentions.
Yeah,
you know, he's like, he kind of like, you know, I read you like a book, and now he's kind of like pissed off that he's reading him like a book, I think. But he also could be because he's hiding the 4th reason. Now it looks like to me the 4th reason has to do with this crossbow. That's what I'm imagining.
Mm-hmm.
This dude's gonna shoot freaking shells at people. No.
Tactical seashell coming.
Yeah, I mean they definitely have access to arrows, so I mean they've
Yeah.
already made spear. They've already made spears. So
Yeah,
literally,
it's just stone weapons, pretty much. I mean, they're not perfect, but
well, I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? Native Americans lived off them for years. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, absolutely.
They chillin', bro.
So he created this as you're still over here, and then he talks about I'm assuming this is his past, right?
Yeah.
Because you have this dude. So you see how he has like the big indents on his cheeks,
Yeah.
right?
He also has the same hair from the
I'm
same.
assuming that's the same. I'm assuming that's the same guy.
Oh, yeah,
So-
you can tell it is. They have the same hair and the same cheeks.
Or
So
it's this guy. I think it's actually this
そんな
guy.
世界に戻しちゃいけない
I think it's actually this guy
oh,
who he was
really?
about to destroy.
Oh, okay.
So an
Because it looked like he was
untainted
just gonna-
paradise.
It seemed like he was going to go on a kill fest. Well, that's what it seemed like.
You think he's gonna? You think he's going to?
No, I don't think he's going to now. I think that Senku spoke up. I think he genuinely does respect Senku's brains. I think that he said that, and granted, he probably did say that to avoid the reasonings he has, you know, or intentions he has. But I think he does also truly does have respect for Senku. So
That
I think he
makes sense.
respects his word. I think he respects his word. You know what
Makes
I mean?
sense. Makes sense.
But you know,
So he said, "We'll revive only the pure-hearted youth."
youth.
So
Yeah.
not necessarily intentions, because he just killed a man. So his pure-hearted isn't necessarily like good-natured. It's pure of the adult world. So untainted by like government and rules and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So
Yeah,
Um,
he said he pretty much was because all that stuff falls under government. That's why I said government because all
yeah,
that stuff you were
yeah,
saying pretty much falls
I
under
got you.
government. Yeah.
And then he's about to, and Senku's like, not even a millimeter. So the two
Yeah.
things he uses is like 10 billion. So he'll be like, oh, I agree with you 10 billion%.
Yeah.
Or he's like, I'm not even a millimeter. So it's like,
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah, 'cause-
no, I'm not with you at all. Because Senku's like very 100 or 0. He's like,
Yeah, I was gonna say he's either for you or he's totally against it. Like it's not even close.
but he's also open about it, right? He's very,
Yeah.
he's like, no, I don't care about, he's like, I don't care about giving thanks. I just, but I'm not against wasting meat. This is what he said
Yeah.
about the lion. So he's like, we
Yeah.
can still eat the lion even if it doesn't taste good. So
Yeah.
then we get to see the different ideals. So
Yep.
here we have the two different plots, right?
Yeah.
It definitely brings in a good counterbalance to the show.
I feel like Senku feels like he's untouchable right now, or he probably knows he's untouchable.
Why?
Because there's no way that big boy right there, even if he didn't agree with what he said, he wouldn't kill him. Because he
Why?
knows if he kills him, there's no way he survives. Well, he might survive, but there's no way they're going to build civilization. So,
What do you mean? Let's explore that a little bit.
well, what I mean by that is that Senku knows the preparations, the things he needs. Like, for instance, the shells. They wouldn't have known that the shells have built concrete and this, that, and the third
Okay.
without Senku. Like, they wouldn't progress, is what I'm trying to say, without Senku. They may be able to stay where they're at now, you know?
I mean, they wouldn't be able to rapidly progress.
Yeah.
I
Big
mean,
Boy, Big Boy
based on stuff like this, they believe that that it started with like an evolutionary kind of thing.
Yeah.
So everyone, I mean, people are going to progress no matter what. I mean,
Yeah.
having wood and then be like, wood isn't very strong. Let me make a stone spear. And that's progress, right?
Yeah.
Knowing how to make steel and applying that is
Yeah.
way different than let's figure it out. You know,
Yeah.
like what is this
Yeah,
material called iron? What is this? How is this? This is very powerful. Oh my gosh! You saying if we remove the oxygen, it becomes steel? That's crazy.
Yeah.
You get to skip that whole process. So he's like the go collect $200 card.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying. So that's why I said I feel like he kind of knows he's on. He not knows, but like he knows that neither of the guys right now would dare to interfere with what he does. You know what I mean?
okay.
Big thing.
And there's also
There's a
one.
target.
There's also one more thing.
Uh-huh.
So, how was Tsukasa like revived?
They poured it on. They poured the stuff on him.
Okay, who knows how to make it?
Senku. Yeah, exactly. Oh, and Taiju.
Does Taiju know how to make it?
I mean, I guess he technically could, but he probably doesn't retain it. I mean, he watched him make it, obviously.
Do you think he would be able to make it?
No.
Okay, so if Tsukasa wanted to resurrect the youth,
Uh-huh.
and Senku knows how to do it, and Taiju maybe knows how to do it,
Yeah.
if he wanted to eliminate his foe, why wouldn't he just kill Senku right now?
Yeah. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
Oh, because Taiju. I mean, because he'd be banking on. I mean, I guess he doesn't know that Taiju doesn't know how to necessarily do it. I mean, because Taiju knows the materials you need, but he might not know the process and know exactly how to do every little detail.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So his
Yeah.
card,
Uh-huh.
Senku's card, is the resurrection formula,
Yeah.
right?
So,
So,
I
it's
mean-
like that's what he knows, right?
Yeah.
Taiju was very much like the resume, thingy-majiggy,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the other thingy-majiggy. It's like
Yeah, he like I grab the crap, he makes it. Like that's.
he's like, I was just told to pick these things, and there you go. That's
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean that's fine. You need the brawn, you need the brain.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
that's why Tsukasa can't just be like, no, because they stated
Yeah.
when they rezzed him, they're like, yeah, like if he wanted to just take control, he could. He's literally the alpha of alphas in this world. He is literally unstoppable.
Yeah.
So, like, if Tsukasa wanted to just progress his plan, he would, but he needs that info, right?
Yep.
Because no one else has been rezzed yet. It's just them three.
Yep.
So
Just
that's
them three.
so that's where we are. That's where we're at. Then we get a dope closer.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, sir.
oh my gosh. So what do you think is going to happen? What are your theories for how this story is going to progress with what you know?
Well, I don't have an exact idea. I mean, I know that they're probably going to.
Sure, fair.
I know they're probably going to obviously revive more humans, or they're going to break people, stone people, more people.
What?
But-
No.
I don't know exactly the direction of the show right now. I mean, clearly they want to create civilization. They want to progress civilization, and like you said, he wants to. Senku is kind of like just trying to speed up the process of building civilization and the progress of it. So I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
they both want to rebuild, but they want to
Yeah.
do it differently.
yeah.
So you have a course, but you also have a conflict, which is very important
Yeah.
for a show.
yeah.
So you have to have a conflict. So that
Well-
would be the conflict the base conflict that we have right now is their
Yeah.
different ideals. So
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just know that they're going to revive more people. They're going to keep progressing. Senku's going to go with this plan, keep progressing with the plan. But now we do have conflict of interest. We do see that,
mhm.
they have different ideas. Now, Tsukasa doesn't seem like he is being too negligent. And then again, we didn't really see after this what happened. So, I mean, we saw my man chilling at a tree looking up in the sky, but we don't know if anything else was said after this. So,
I
Yeah.
think this was just
like the
this is just
indicator of like,
this is
Yeah.
just an after. This is you don't take this as the next thing that happened.
okay, yeah. So
This is
Yeah,
just,
we
this is
don't-
just
we
like
don't-
the end credits. It's just like an opening credits. So or opening
yeah,
scene.
so maybe next episode we get an argument. Maybe Tsukasa comes back at Senku and goes, "But why would you want to do something so stupid in his eyes?" And Senku would be like, "Haha, only if you knew my guy." And he'd probably break it down more. But I don't know. Yeah, I have literally no idea. I have no. All I know is that they want to get more humans involved, get everyone involved, and get civilization popping. That's all I know.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so we're going to move on. So, if you'd like to support us, liking, commenting, and subscribing, really lets YouTube know we're here, as well as, I mean, obviously you watching through to this point. Let's see, checking out the links in the description, just as our Twitch links, or you could join the Discord, my Discord. He doesn't have one, not that I know of. You don't have a Discord, right?
I created one, but I never fell through with it. So I have one, just haven't done anything with it.
So if he ever decides one, I'll put it in the link eventually whenever he tells me it's a goal.
Yeah.
So, or if you'd like to, a final way to support us would be through Patreon, where you can affect shows we're doing in the future. But other than that, you guys have yourself a wonderful day.
Deuces.